Right, hi guys. Today we're going to look at how to plot a graph just using the gradient and the intercept. So it's important that we just remind ourselves what the gradient and the intercept are. This is the gradient given by the letter M, and this is the intercept given by the letter C. Now C is just where it crosses the y-axis. So that's really nice and easy to find. So C is -1, so I'm going to put a big cross at -1. Now the gradient's a little bit more interesting, really, because the gradient is the simplest form of a fraction, which gives us the y step over the x step. So this is the change in y divided by the change in x. Now I could say if x changes by 1, y changes by 2, and that would give me that point just there. And indeed that is on the line. But bearing in mind that this is a fraction, we could say that that was equal to, let me use a different colour pen. That was equal to 4/2, or 6/3, or 8/4, or 10/5, etc, etc, etc. But they're always going to be cancelled down to give that one. But the bigger you go and the further you can make this your next point to draw, the more accurate your graph's going to be. Because if I draw just from here to here, by the time I get out here, a tiny little wobble here could make a big difference out there. So I'm going to pick one of these at random, and I'm sure it is just random. Let's just pick this one. So that's my change in y, and that's my change in x. So if I start at -1, which is my intercept, and I change my x by 4, I get to there. So from there to there is 4. You can see that from there to there is 4. And if I change my y by 8, I get to there. So that's gone 4 that way and 8 that way. But I want you to remind you that any of these work. So if I went 3 and then 6, that would give me that point there, that's on the line. But you don't need all these points. You actually only need 2 points to draw a line. So I can then join my initial point and my point, which I've just worked out, which is 3, 7, together. But remember that the line goes through those points and out to the other side. Important point, y is equal to 2x minus 1. You must always label it. So the thing we've got going on is C, which is here, and M, which is 8/4. But remember, that could have been any of these things. I could have picked any of them. I only picked 8/4 at random. So let's have a look at another one. So considering 12 and -3 would be my M and my C. This one's dead easy. That's where it crosses the y. So that's there. 12. Now remember, this means I'll put it in the same colour pens. -3/1 is the change in y over the change in x. So that could be -6/2, could be -9/3, could be minus 12 over 4. All these equivalent fractions, it doesn't matter that there's a minus in or it's top heavy, they're all the same because I'm timesing by 2, timesing by 3, timesing by 4, timesing by 5, minus 15, 5. And I'm going to pick one of them at random. So this time I'll pick that one. Remember, and that is really at random. Delta y over delta x. Remember, that means changing y over changing x. So that means I'm going to change my x by 3. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 to there. And I'm going to change my y by 9. So from 12, I'm going to come, bearing in mind it's negative 9, I'm going to come all the way down to there. So there's the point I'm going to pick. So that was 3, and that was a minus 9. That's where I got those figures from. Remember, changing x and changing y. Remember, we could have used any of these values, any of those green values there at all could be used. Any of these green values here could be used. And they would all give you the same answer. Then having to put the line on. I get that. And remember, it's always important to label a line. Y equals minus 3x plus 12. So, nice and easy. All we've got to do, number on the end tells us the number where it crosses the y-axis. Any one of these equivalent fractions, you no need to draw them all out. You could just pick one at random. It will tell you the change in x for a relative change in y. So you can see I've got 3 is change in x direction and negative 9 is change in y direction. Gave me a new point. Just draw through those 2 points and label a line and you've got it. It really is quite easy and much less time than drawing out a table of values. So if you can grasp this, it'll save you loads of time in tests, and I know loads of you are keen to do the smartest and most efficient way of doing things so you don't waste your time. Okay?